and just wanted to make a point that that red circle that you see there, that stands for the total number, the total base of the internet population in India. And that if you look at the Google Ad Planner figure, that was 98 million, but actually that's quite an optimistic figure. I'll just like to get Bev in here. So Bev, what typically is a safe figure to go by when you talk about the internet population in India?
So various planning tools will give you various numbers, and of course it's all dependent on the category and the kind of sites that, the kind of audience that you're looking at. But typically you can look at a 60 million to 65 million for sure.
Right. So this is another interesting thing which really talks about the fast pace at which social media has been growing in India. And some startling facts, if you look at the 16 to 35 SEC AB consumer in India, this typical demographic spends nearly 5 times more minutes online than he spends on all the other traditional forms of advertising put together, which is a startling fact, and which is a fact which is getting a lot of traditional advertisers, traditional brands into digital. Because earlier what the issue was is that there weren't enough numbers for a campaign, for a brand manager to say that digital is important. But today, as the numbers and as the slide shows, this has changed. In fact, for some brands, some brand like say Virgin Mobile, it is possible to do a high impact, a pure high impact campaign in a pure digital fashion also. So that's how things have changed, and that's why there's a lot of interest in online media planning. Right. So let's quickly look at some basics, and the basics remain the same whether it is traditional or online. And the first thing that you do is sit down with the client and understand his business, understand his target audience, so that you and understand his goals. So every depending on the situation and depending on the brand, every brand will have a certain kind of communication goal. Now that could be for example, if it's a reality TV show, if it's for example a Sach Ka Samna or Khatron Ke Khiladi, etc., it could the objective there could be to reach out to as many people as possible in say 3 or 4 months. Whereas if it's something like a mobile services company, they would have a more longer term approach, and they would want to do a gradual kind of a campaign, and which would take time to build up. Whereas for someone in the financial services side, it could be a lead generation campaign focused just on getting registration. So understanding the communication goals is really important. Yeah, Bev?
Like Kaushik rightly pointed out, that the most important thing to start off for an online plan, or rather for any other plan, is to identify a target audience. Every plan will need to be tailored and designed in a manner that is around the target audience. For instance, if your target audience is within the age group of 18 to 25, you know that this individual will of course be on an Orkut, will of course be on a Facebook, and if you do not know this, and I mean your plan will not at all be successful if your target audience is not bang on, if you've not identified the right audience. Having said that, you, like Kaushik rightly pointed out, the objective of your client, for the advertisers, is equally important. For instance, you know that serving an ad on a normal a cricket website is something that is going to attract eyeballs, but will probably not be very useful for a lead generation campaign. However, if you the same ad, if it's put up on a more professional website or a mature website like a Money Control, is likely to get you the ultimate objective that or at least reach closer to the objective that the client has in plan.
Yeah, so we see a question so which is about so Google Ad Plan, and the question really is what kind of websites does the Ad Planner tool work with, and it's really all, it's not necessarily that it should be hosted by Google. Google is just a minute.
Yeah, so Google Ad Planner will not only throw up websites that are just registered with Google, but it will throw up all websites that Google has identified as the top performing sites over the internet. For instance, on an Ad Planner, you will see a Facebook, you will see a Rediff, you will see a Yahoo. These are not at all Google properties at all, but yeah, it will give you historic data that the system has identified to help you as a tool to facilitate your objective as a planner.
Right. So yeah, hope we've answered that. Right. So let's go ahead. Yeah. So apart from any traditional kind of media buy would involve understanding the demographics and the psychographics of the audience, and if there are any traditional advertising guys in the audience, they would agree with me there. Just in the online space, there is an additional element of online behavior which is tapped by and we'll see how that plays a role in the targeting process. But these are the three ways in which you can identify the target audience. So taking into account all these things, and on the earlier slide where we understood the demographics, psychographics, and the online behavior, and understanding the array of possible sites on which consumers can be targeted. Looking at both these things, the media planner has to arrive at the optimal mix of websites to attract the relevant target audience. It's as simple as that. There's a lot of intelligence which is slowly gathered by media planners in terms of what a certain category is spending online, or what is the competitor spending online in categories like in the cola category or in the mobile category. It's sometimes the ad spend does get determined by what the competition and overall the market the category is spending. So as a media planner who constantly talks with the brand manager, it's important to have some feel of this kind of data for your category. Yeah, and good negotiation skills are a given. It's a fair amount of time goes in developing a relationship with with various portals and various players, and understanding at the best price at which a certain deal can be made. So this stays whether it is traditional or online. So let's look at let's look at the display advertising option in more depth, because what happens is that most of the time today of a online media planner goes in understanding the options that a brand has on the display advertising or on the banners and stuff like that. And it's important for him to get a sense of that. Now, if you just look at display, we'll come to non-display later on. If you just look at display, there are various options like banners, like the plain banners, sponsorships, which is sponsoring the entire section, the email display ads, pre-post roll, etc. Maybe the next few slides will tell you what we'll show you some examples. So it's pretty much self-explanatory. The email banner on the right, or what you see here is actually an entire section at Zapak.com, which has been sponsored by Idea. So you'll see that apart from the fact that this looks very different from what a Zapak page would have looked, there is an Idea logo, there is a footer at the at the bottom, there is a contest which is being spoken about. So the entire look and feel has been changed. Then this is an example of a game on IBPO, again example of sponsorship. This is something on Yahoo Answers, which where the sponsorship was for this category, and if you look at the question, you'll see that there is the reader knows that this is a question asked posed by the brand, the Idea brand. So these are there are various options available, and not only options, there are various formats. So this is the skyscraper format. This is the wallpaper kind of a ad. The home page takeover. This has to be this has to be done with some caution, because it tends to from the portal side, it has to be done with some caution, because it tends to irritate some loyal users. So you'll see in this case it's dictionary.com having a complete homepage takeover by a brand. And this is the floating expandable kind of a banner ad. So yeah, so these apart from that, the ads are getting richer in formats, right? So so that what that basically means, that the same ad can help you to capture data and get content dynamically. Maybe I like to ask Bev to maybe give some examples on stuff like this.
Yeah, so rich media is something that's gaining momentum. Every advertiser, every client wants to do something different, wants to do something new, wants to do something that's never done before. I'll tell you one such example. There are a couple of clients that have started, in fact Pinstum's also helping them do that, is a banner ad that looks like a small square banner that you can see currently on your screen. However, the beauty of it is that it's dynamic. So what I mean by dynamic is the content in the ad keeps changing. Now this is very useful for something like for a news website, or for a cricket score kind of an ad, or for a share market kind of an ad, wherein users want to get information on a minute by minute basis. For a cricket, somebody wants to know the team scores. For a stock related website, somebody wants to know which stocks have kind of gained points. For a news, of course, it's very innovative if you just get headlines of a particular website just on a small little banner that you can see on your screen. So these are some of the new ways of innovativeness that's actually come in the industry, which is actually being liked by most of the advertisers, and something that will probably go a little long way. like Kaushik also said that there's something like data capture. So what this means